So yeah, the stream went down, but we're back. I have to go back. I was talking needlessly for a while, but it's all good. I left off talking about Kenny Koff's song Trust. Just to reiterate, it is a spacey hip hop song with a little bit of some poppy vocals going on. I really love your voice and the cadence that you use. You have some great melodies in here. I think that you should use some more enunciation, but that could be a stylistic choice. That's up to you. I really like your backing vocals. I feel like it helped just blend everything together, and I feel like they did their job as a supporting role. My only thing really with this song is I think that it needs a better mix. It's not blended as well as it could be. And if you can tell, I'm gonna brush through these very quickly. Next, we have a song called "Heartbreak Kid" by Brickside Lean. This is an R&B trap song, very like Rod Wavy kind of vibe. Really good melodies in here. I like the voicemail that you added. It was a good touch. The production was a little bit too simple for my liking, but overall it had a good mix. Technically, it was put together well, and it sounded good. I liked it. Next, another Orlando favorite of mine. We have Throne Kid City with his song One Shot. This is a song that people know around the city. It's extremely catchy. It's a great song overall. I really love the monologue that you have in the beginning. I feel like it sets the tone great in terms of, the message, the emotion that it brings, but also the person that you have, whoever she is, has a great voice. It's very smooth and like relaxing, and the timing of it was perfect when you come in for the drop. So it was just great. The melodies are awesome. Great variation in there. I talked about the hook. It's amazing, the song in general. You have a great mix. Shout out to Throne Kid because he also is an engineer. So if you like the mix on this song, go hit him up and get some work done from him. But overall, it's a great song. I'm going to be playing you on the radio tomorrow. The next song is my favorite song of the week. Hands down. This song is called I Hope He Leaves from Seon. This is a toxic modern R&B song that is just, it like melt, it makes me melt. It's very good. It's phenomenal. Like, I don't even know how, I know how to describe it because I'm going to talk about it in a second, but like, it's amazing. Okay, my main thing before I talk about anything else, please link your socials, because if people just find any of your music on Spotify, or I don't know how your other DSPs are looking, they cannot follow you on Instagram or any other social media because they are not going to be able to find it. So please go into your Spotify for Artists account, go check all that out. Make it as thorough as possible. Now let's talk about the song. The chorus itself is infectious. As someone who loves to dance, I could really hear this in like a heels or a pole class, or even if there's some folks out there who's looking for some new music to choreograph to. Check this out. I think that you will be pleasantly delighted. Definitely has that kind of vibe. There's a great mix on this song. I love how your background vocals like creep up a little bit. They're not super in your face, but they're exactly as present as they need to be. Your tone is perfect for the subject matter and the song in general. Like, it's just so sensual and smooth and rich and like amazing. And just in general, you are an immensely talented vocalist, live and recorded, but like your range is amazing. This, like I said, is my favorite song of the week. I'm playing you on the radio tomorrow. You have been added to the Run It Back favorite playlist. Go check this song out. It's great. The next song that we have is called Deranged by Alex Allen, and the guitar player on this is a good friend of mine, Juan Guti. This is, it's almost like a pop rock song with some R&B influences. It's very fusion type situation. You know what I'm saying? But I like the song. There's a couple timing issues, but overall it's catchy. It's easy to remember. My main thing that I took away from this is that I see, in terms of vocally, the vibe and the vision of what you're going for. I described it when I first talked about it to the camera, that it kind of reminds me of, like, I think his name is Jacob Collier. It's like this very gritty and dark voice, but it's still almost soft, but not in the traditional way. More of like sweet, dainty, I guess you could say, but it still has that grit, that almost like anger intensity. Anyways, I think if that's what you're going for, and I'm correct about my assumption, that you need to open up a little bit more, get a little bit gritty in your scream. Like, I need to hear something from your diaphragm. I need to hear something with power, and I think that that's gonna just take that to the next level, bring some edge to it. Next up, we have a song called "Run" by Zim. Thank you for submitting again, my friend. Much appreciated. This is an R&B song with some hip-hop influences. He did send in a music video. The visuals are stunning. You can tell there was a lot of thought and time and energy that was put into it, which I heavily appreciate. And yeah, it was, like I said, stunning visuals. I love the colorways. It was very on brand, and it worked great. Very catchy song. You have a good use of space in there. It doesn't feel like claustrophobic or congested. It's just a nice groove. There's a great mix on this, and I really appreciated your use of like vocal fry and grit, growl, squalls, that kind of tone enhancement, and I feel like it helped take this to the next level. Next, we have a song called "Murder" by G Wiz. This is an R&B trap song. Once again, that kind of Rod Wave vibe. You have some nice flows in here. Once again, similar to Sayon, please link your socials. We cannot find you. I know who you are, so I can tag you, but please go forward and do that. My biggest thing that I took away from this song, you're talented. You have, the skill, though. You can rap. But I want to hear something different from you. Yeah, I just want to hear in what way you can stand out and why you were different, how you were different. That's all. Moving forward, we only have 2 more songs, and then we're going to move on. We have a song called "Washed Out" from Scotty Hendricks. This is a very soulful R&B song. You have a great ear for harmonies. There's a nice mix on this. My only critique would be there's a couple of timing issues in here. But my takeaway from this is that I love voices that are androgynous, and you really have that, like where you just sit in this pocket and it's usually like smooth, gritty, soulful voices that can do this. But I can, when I first heard this, I was like, is this a girl? Is this a boy? In the best way possible. It's my favorite thing, and I think that you should just continue. Man, I love it. Moving forward. The last song that we're talking about is called "Roller Coaster" from Spade Wave. This is like that spacey cloud rap kind of like yeet type vibe. This song is short and sweet. It's fun. It's definitely one of those songs that you just driving in the car, having a good time, enjoying your life. That's the vibes that it's giving. So that's the end of the music reviews for today. If you would like to listen to any of these songs, go ahead. Once the stream is over, in the comments and in the descriptions, I'm going to have a link that has all the links to news stories, music, social media, all of that good stuff. But with that being said, let's move on to the My Likes section. This is a section of the podcast where I talk about whatever I want to that doesn't necessarily go into the categories that I have for this series. So, first up, Don Toliver and Atlantic are being accused of using Russian bot farms. Twitter was going a little bit crazy over just the way that his comments were looking, and some other folks on the Atlantic roster's comments. It just seemed very bot-like. And so, yeah, people had something to say about it. And now it's a talking point. I don't know if people are going to care about it for a very long time and if we're going to see anything really come out of it. But I thought it was interesting, especially because we talked about streaming bot farms last week, and now we're seeing something a little bit more in the social media sphere of things. But like I said, we'll see if we see a resolution to this or a conclusion to this story. Like I said, I don't know how long people are going to actually care about it. But it starts an interesting conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments below. Moving on, Martin Garrix has announced a launch of a 3-day program to help foster new electronic music talent. The Martin Garrix and JBL Music Academy will invite 40 different musicians, songwriters, vocalists, and producers for a global initiative designed to equip young artists with tools to navigate the music industry. Garrix himself will host masterclasses at his Stampede Studios complex in Amsterdam, with other esteemed industry professionals. If this is something that you're interested in, go to the link that I was talking about where you can find out more information and see how you can get involved. Whenever I see stuff like this, it's really cool, and there's ways to be a part of it. So if you're interested, do more research and find out how you can. The final story in this section is just some tips for independent artists on how to merge your creative and your business life, and make them work a little bit better than they might be right now. The first thing is to have a schedule. If I did not have my to-do list and my Google Calendar, I would be a worm. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. So for me, it's one of the biggest things, especially with time blocking. But just figure out how much a day you want to allot to writing, practicing, whether that be vocals, dance, instruments, mixing, whatever the situation is. Work if you have a regular 9 to 5, self-care, sleep, exercise, cooking. Like, just get your routine in order. A lot of what this is organization, and just knowing what your intention for every day and what you want to get done every day and how you're going to get it done every day is just a step to increase your productivity and that concept of organization in your life. The next thing is separating your creative and your business space. Once again, separating paperwork, separating equipment, separating physically where you're at, so that you can be in the correct headspace in whatever physical space that you're in. The next thing is learning how to do business on the go. I remember when I was working as an agent, this is one of the most important things of just having to constantly be checking emails, checking text messages, actually utilizing like that. My work as an agent taught me to utilize this thing for what it is, which is a computer, and everything that I can do on my computer, you should be doing on your phone on the regular, on the go. It's going to help you keep up communication with people. Things move very quickly, so you can maximize how quickly you can get things done when you are just consistently prepared for it. Because, of course, we all need time to rest, and none of us should be working actually 24/7. But always being prepared if necessary is, I think, to me, the key in this when we're talking about learning how to do business on the go and in that consistent manner. Moving on, the very last thing in this list and a part of this section is to find help. None of us can do the grandiose things that we want to do, and not even grandiose stuff. We all just need support systems. So find your team of artists, of creatives, but also just friends and people who care about you to support you along your journey and to be there for you. Because like I said, none of us can do everything alone. And yeah, we all need help sometimes. So go find the people who you know are going to fulfill that for you and who are willing to help you out. The next section is all about industry updates. A lot of this is going to be like position changes and things along those lines, but we're going to get through it. I'm going to kind of like rapid fire speed round. So let me prepare myself. Okay. Germany-based live music promoter DEAG reported a 72% jump in revenue in Q3 versus the pre-pandemic levels in 2019, a further sign that live music has bounced back from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic despite recent macroeconomic headwinds. I don't know how accurate the term bounce back is in terms of live music. I think that we've definitely made strides, but we've talked about before issues with, the cost of equipment, different supply chain things, now being kind of the issue when we're talking about live music and touring. So if we, I think we can definitely consider that, we bounced back from COVID, but live music is still not back in full effect. And like I said, I think some previous episodes can catch us up on that as to why. But wanted to put it up there. 72% jump in revenue is a huge jump, and that's why primarily this was interesting to me, but also that statement, just being able to touch on it. Moving on, this one is really interesting. Facebook confirms that only 10.6% of fans see your post, down 29% this year alone. Facebook's quarterly widely viewed content transparency report has confirmed what musicians and marketers already knew. Fewer and fewer followers are seeing their posts. Last quarter, just 10.6% of US users' Facebook feed came from the pages they followed. Why? Well, I think we know why. It's driven by ad revenue and algorithms, but this is why it's important for us to have email lists, for us to have our fans following us on multiple different platforms, and consistency. Also, having your audience have your notifications on, sending direct messages. This is why we do this, because these platforms, as you can see, are not doing us justice, nor are they doing our followers justice. 10.6% is insane. Facebook, owned by Meta, I don't think that Instagram numbers are that far off. So if you want to know why you have dead followers, it's not, I'm sure some of them, don't care about you or are actual dead accounts, but a majority of it is probably that they're just not seeing your stuff. And it's not anything that is in either of your guys' control. It's freaking the platform itself. So like I said, this is why we need to do things like have email lists, send direct messages, have your audience put your post notifications on, things along those lines, so that you can ensure that at least more than 10% of people are seeing your posts. Okay. Next one is a pretty big story. I really don't want to mispronounce her name, but I know that I'm going to. Ethiopia Habtemariam will be stepping down as the chief of Motown Records. She and UMG have jointly announced a successor will be named at a later date. So very interesting. But that is a huge change. The UK's competition watchdog says that the concentration of power in the hands of a few music streaming services and record labels is not hurting either listeners or musicians, despite the pleas of some in the industry. The Competition and Markets Authority said that things are good for consumers of music and generally improving for the musicians, although it acknowledged there are some challenges for some. Quote, consequently, it's unlikely that the competition intervention would improve outcomes overall and release more money to the systems to pay creators. And they talked about how the way that things are just kind of are inherent to the system. I don't like this. I don't like it. Obviously, I didn't do the research, and but I just don't like the idea that how do I put it? Necessarily like just I don't want to go as far to say unethical, but it's a broader conversation that I'm not ready to have right now. But basically, in total, I think this is interesting. I think there's more to read into it. I don't agree that things are good for listeners or good for independent musicians and musicians at large. I think that things aren't terrible, but when we're talking about streaming rates, I think that we have more ways to go. And especially as things continue to evolve with social media, I don't think everything is fair. And I don't like that. That is kind of the vibe that I'm getting, like the tone that everything's fine. Everything's cool. It's getting better. It's getting better. Why do you care? That's what this made me feel, and I don't like that. Okay. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I like to harp on stuff. I apologize. Moving on, we have Warner Music Group has tapped Pico Sibeli as its new president of Warner Music Group Italy. Sibeli, who is credited as a key figure in the rise of Grammy-nominated Italian rock stars. Mainskin with Sony Music replaces Marco Albani, who has stepped down as chairman and CEO of the Italian division after nearly a decade at the company. We have Sony Music Publishing has appointed Michelle Hamlink as managing director of the Benelux region, where she will be responsible for creative strategy in addition to expanding songwriter support and service offerings. We have Shorefire Media has hired Elvin Sabla for a newly created position of Creative Brand Director. Reporting to Marilyn Laverty, CEO and founder, Sabla will work out of the company's Brooklyn headquarters and will oversee the company's branding and content strategy. We have BMG Nashville has promoted Kelsey Worley to Senior Director of Creative and hired Amy Hendon Scott to Creator of Directive. Jesus Christ. BMG has promoted Kelsey Worley to Senior Director of Creative and hired Amy Hendon Scott as Director of Creative. That was ridiculous. Next, we have TuneCore has promoted Melody Seddon to the role of VP in Brand Marketing, as announced by Andrea Gleason, their CEO. Concord has reportedly begun a process that could see it become the latest large music company to get into the financial bonds game. Financial giant Apollo Global Management is reportedly selling a $1.65 billion bond backed by music rights to Concord's catalog, which could mark the music industry's first securitization. I think this is really interesting when we talk about like NFTs and music as stocks. No, this is music as stocks in such a broader way. So seeing how this moves forward, I think is going to be really interesting. And if it's secured, I think it's going to be a big step. The best way to put it is, music has immense monetary value for many different reasons. You see a lot of people, selling and purchasing catalogs and things along those lines. Having it secured or having like a bond on it is just a whole different arena with that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it progresses, and I'm sure that this isn't the last time that we're going to see a story like this. Oh Lord. The final story in this section is also pretty interesting. Triller removed the entire music catalogs from Universal Music Group, Warner Music Group, and Sony, aka the big three and most of the music in the world, and top independent label licensor Merlin. The move makes the platform virtually unusable for any creator who promotes music on the TikTok-like platform. Triller claims 65 million monthly active users, although some doubt a number like that. This is interesting. I'm not sure why this happened. I'm sure that we will find out. But yeah, it's correct. The fact that they took all of these catalogs down, it really does make it unusable. There's been stuff about Triller in the news in these past couple of months. I'm not sure where this is all going to end up, but it does seem like we are watching the slow, agonizing death of Triller. R.I.P. Next, we're going into the deals, partnerships, and acquisitions section. So starting out, UMG has acquired a minority stake in the independent music company Pius for an undisclosed sum. The deal, which sees UMG acquire a 49% stake in the Pius Group, follows the formation of a strategic global alliance between the two companies in June of 2021. According to the press release issued on Wednesday, November 30th, under their new agreement, Pius will remain fully independent, and its founders Kenny Gates and Michael Lambo will retain a majority control of the company. The release adds that UMG will have no seats on the company board. So we'll see what that relationship ends up looking like and the leaps and bounds that I assume that it's going to give Pius. Next, Eric Church, a longtime manager of John Peets, has launched a joint venture on an all-inclusive enterprise called Solid Entertainment, which aims to centralize all ever-evolving professional footprint, as it reads in the official news release. I don't understand exactly what this means, but I'm excited to see, I like things that intrigue me. Moving forward, Netherlands-based B2B distributor Fuga, a division of Downtown Music, has partnered with the electronic label Insomniac Music Group for a global deal covering distribution, marketing, and label services. Warner Chappell Music has entered a new partnership with Defiant, a Web3 entertainment incubator aimed at empowering WCM's songwriters and producers to engage with the Web3 space and leverage blockchain technology. And then finally, Aerosmith, with the best-selling American rock band of all time, on November 30th, celebrated their first time in history that their iconic recordings are unified in one space. through multifaceted, close working relationship with Universal Music Group, who is now the official worldwide home to Aerosmith's entire recorded music catalog, future music releases, merchandise, and audiovisual content. Cool. Moving on. We have some artist accomplishments. We're primarily talking about the Soul Train Awards, but before I get into that, I have one other thing that I know that I put down in here, which is Spotify announced on Wednesday, aka November 30th, that Bad Bunny has become the service's biggest global artist for the third year in a row after his music was streamed over 18.5 billion times on the platform. Bad Bunny is killing it. He is the rock star of the world right now, and I think it's really cool, and I'm happy for him, and I am assuming that they are celebrating in great vigor at this moment. Moving on, like I said, we're talking about the Soul Train Awards. So in terms of the winners, I'm going to go through them. I heavily enjoyed the Soul Train Awards this year. Phenomenal. I feel like everyone deserved what was won. So yeah, I'm just going to brush right through it, and then we're going to talk about the performances. So Ashford and Simpson Songwriters Award went to Mooney Long for Hours and Hours. I really liked her acceptance speech. She made a statement, writing music that inserts itself into the fabric of culture. I thought that was beautiful. The fact that Hours and Hours is on a YouTube beat is crazy, and it's a testament of the times that we're in, with it's just like, stay resourceful, use what you got, and anything really is possible. Yeah, I believe like I said, I believe everyone who won at the Soul Train Awards deserved it. We had Lady of Soul that was given to Escape. I really liked how these were predetermined awards, and it gave them time to, put together some really nice just visuals and kind of like just backstory, almost documentary style stuff as they were announcing and going through, the production itself. But yeah, the best collaboration winner was Make Me Say It Again Girl from Ronald Isley and the Isley Brothers featuring Beyonce. The Legend Award, which is another one of those predetermined ones, was won by Morris Day. It was the same format as the Lady of Soul one, and I really liked that. The Best New Artist went to Thames. The Certified Soul Award went to Mary J. Blige. The Best R&B/Soul Female Artist Award went to Jasmine Sullivan. The Best Gospel and Inspirational Award went to Maverick City Music and Kirk Franklin. Album of the Year went to Beyonce for Renaissance. Finally, justice. Finally. For this woman, at least this year when it comes to award shows and things like this. The Best R&B Soul Male Artist went to Chris Brown. I know there's controversy around that. I just don't even care. Congrats, bro. Song of the Year went to Break My Soul from Beyonce. We had Best Dance Performance went to About Damn Time from Lizzo, which is really cool considering what she's been doing with with larger female dancers and just the brand that she has around that. The Video of the Year went to Smoking Out the Window by Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak, aka Silk Sonic. Very cool. That's who won the Soul Train Awards. Now I want to talk a little bit about the performances because I had so much fun. Every performance was phenomenal. And when it came to the set, the wardrobe, the dancers, there were some discrepancies with certain people, but overall it was a phenomenal show. So Mooney Long opened everything up. I really appreciated that she actually had acting going on stage. She really painted a picture for us. The set was awesome. There was a lot of intention behind it. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was very homey. It was very natural. It was also funny. There was a great sense of humor in this whole production. The vocals were all right, but I also understand that there was so much going on that, there's only so much you can do. She sounded amazing. From hearing her sing live before, I know she could have done better. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. And then it got gay, and I was really excited. She did a whole twist on us, and it was great. It was great. I think it added an element of surprise. She ate us up with the storyline and everything. It was great. The next performer was Ari Lennox, and she is always just vocally phenomenal. She is just a extremely talented person. She looked great. I loved the colorway for the set, and it was just a very exactly what her brand is, just extremely luxurious and smooth and clean. elegant, and yeah, it was great. Then we had Coco Jones. She has a phenomenal tone, and similar to Ari, just very elegant and like lovely and simple. And exactly what those kind of vocals, in my opinion, should be accompanied by. Then we had the Soul Cipher. Mooney Long, what she brought it was giving Doja Cat, like, definitely. She is crazy when it comes to just, like, being able to piece together melodies, which I love. And I love that, oh my God, when she hit the time machine references and she was like, I wish I had a time machine. Bro, shout out to Falaire. That's like a classic freaking section of that song. And the fact she put it in it was great. I loved it. And just her classic ad-libs as well. Like, Mooney Long got her ad-libs, and the way that she integrated them were great. Durand Bernarr, if you don't know who he is, you should pay attention. He has that sound, I don't know if y'all have heard it on TikTok, but it's like, I'm a bad bitch, yeah, da, 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 da. I don't think you heard me. That is his voice, and he is phenomenal. I was so excited to see him be featured, just have any involvement where I was able to sing. Where he was able to sing. His range is ridiculous. He's also funny. He has a great sense of humor, and that's a part of his brand. He has great stage presence, and I literally put just in here that he's just better than everyone else. And that's no hate, but he's a star. Like, I'm obsessed with him, honestly. Okay. Then we had Alex Vaughn. She brings some simplicity. She has a very pretty voice, but compared to Mooney and Durand, she definitely brought the energy down a little bit more, and I was a bit underwhelmed. She has a great voice. I don't want that to be lost, but just compared to the intensity and the excitement of the prior verses, that was what I took away from it. And then we had Tasha Cobbs. Oh my God. Phenomenal tone. She decided to take us to church and get real and like end it with a bang. It was great. And they just, at the finale, when they came together, they have a phenomenal blend with each other. You can tell they're all technically good at what they do. And I really enjoyed it. Then we had Escape perform. I love the incorporation of Jermaine Dupri. There was classic vocals, and it just gave like just very heavy old school vibes. The wardrobe and the choreo, everything was on point. Everything was packaged together so nicely, and it showcased the comment that they made about that Jermaine made about each of them being able to do lead vocals. We saw that happen, and Tiny went the fuck off, bro. Like, they all went crazy, and I love seeing older women just like eat and be amazing and be confident and still be like killing shit, and it made me so happy to just see that be exemplified for us. Right. Then we had a performance from Tank and Jay Valentine. The vocals were on point. It was definitely giving grown and sexy. It was very simple in terms of their movement and what they were doing. They definitely brought the heat up they had a pole dancer as well as like just some other femme dancers on the stage itself, and some like instrumentalists as well. And that brought a really cool element that I was excited about. Then we had Hugh. Bro has lots of control, a very large use of vibrato. He has a very wide range, is very funky soul type of vibe. It was sweet and simple. Yeah, it was cute. I enjoyed it. Then we had Sir. Sir had all the hoes in black. I don't know why I made that a specific note, but it stood out to me. Everybody was in black. So this is also funny to me, the way that I described this. His voice and kind of what it was giving, it felt like a smooth rock, where it's like hard and gritty, but it's also soft, if that makes any sense. That is the way that Sir, like, that I can describe his sound in physical terms. But I wasn't super, like, crazy about the choreo, but overall, I mean, the vocals, like, really, really carried the performance, and it was fun, and it was exciting. Shantae Moore. This is the performance that everyone has been talking about, as they should, because this was a feat, was an experience like no other. She is phenomenal. Once again, an older woman just eating everyone up. Like, oh my God. My mouth was like on the floor the entire time that I was watching this. Her tone is phenomenal. She has amazing stamina as well. Control is ridiculous. I really liked, the ladies that she had in the back. They had such a pretty vocal blend, and everything was just so bright and airy and beautiful, and just like that tone, once again, like that front like palette tone, just so soft and beautiful and bright. And then she hit the whistle tones, bro, and it was over. And I swear to God, like I was transported to heaven, and I feel like we all felt like that. And if you haven't seen this performance, you should go watch it so that you too can see Jesus. I concur. And then the final performance of the night was from Morris Day. It was simple. It was classic. It was so effortless, too. You could just tell, like, you're watching someone who has been doing this for his whole life. And this is he's just himself, and he's just having fun. Like I said, so effortless, simple. And I love being able to just marvel in legendariness. You know what I'm saying? Just allow it and be able to experience it. I love that. Moving on. We're going into the legal section. We do have a couple of stories, and then we're almost done, y'all. We're wrapping everything up. So, newly yielded stats from the music industry have prompted government action on streaming inequality following the publication of a report by the Competition and Markets Authority, or the CMA. At the start of the year, the CMA formally launched a new study to examine the music streaming market, in which it considered whether innovation is being stifled and if any firms hold excessive power. Next, official antitrust hearings with Ticketmaster are in the works. A date has not been set for the hearing, and witnesses have yet to be announced. So we've been talking about Ticketmaster for a little bit, just solidifying that there is going to be an official antitrust hearing, and just following along as this progresses. And then finally, as the 117th Congress winds to a close, music industry advocates are urging Congress to pass the long-simmering HITS Act before the January changeover. The HITS Act would allow musicians, technicians, and producers to deduct 100% of recording expenses up to $150,000 on their taxes in the year they are incurred. That is a change from the current law, which requires music creators to amortize those expenses over the economic life of a sound recording, a period that usually ranges between 3 and 4 years. This is interesting. This is definitely something to keep up on. It's going to be a huge change, especially for the independent artists of the world, when it comes to just economics and financial ability, right? Cool. Finally, as I do when I see it happen, I have put someone in here who recently passed away, Kristen McVie. She passed on November 30th. If you guys want to learn more about her, I'll pull this up real quick just so I'm not just like saying when she passed and all of just that. But yeah, she worked closely with Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, or was a part of the band Fleetwood Mac. So if you want to learn more about her, check out this article. You can definitely do so. As per usual, I offer my condolences to fans, family, friends, and supporters. It's never fun to lose someone. And yeah, if you've been watching, you know I like to recognize people. On that note, like I said, that was the close. That's the end of today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I was a little bit serious in the beginning. I know we had some technical difficulties, but things happen. We just move forward and we get better. So I will see you guys next week. If you have any stories or any music that you want to submit, please go ahead and send me an email at ari@dareandefy.net with your song name and your artist name. Send it on in. I will get to you at some point. If you are an independent artist who's looking for some education, I'm having a class this Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. There are both in-person and online options. We're talking about all about internet presence. So we're talking about websites, content calendars, social media, what is genuine marketing. We're talking about fan conversion rates, a bunch of stuff. And anyone who comes through to the course, whether you're online or in person, you will get a 30% discount on all of the services that I offer that we talk about in the class itself. Tomorrow is the official launch of Dare to Defy Radio. So if you're on the Run It Back favorite playlist, you're going to be getting some radio play tomorrow. And if you are interested in getting some radio play, submit to the podcast, and there's that little funnel thing, that little situation. But yeah, is there anything else I need to talk about? Congratulations to everyone who won at Fusion. I had a blast. I hope that everyone enjoyed themselves. And yeah, congrats to everyone who won. Congrats to those who showed up, showed out, and who weren't recognized. I see you. I love you. And yeah, I mean, that's the end of today. I don't think I have any other updates other than December 7th. There's an event with Meggie Laps and Psy that I'm going to be giving a presentation and talking over at, so definitely pop out. Yeah, man, that's all I can think of. On that note, have a good night. Stay safe. Adios.
Dress for Chicago weather, and these niggas think they got it. Forgot I gave it to them. Riding bicycles with training wasn't think they really moving. I'ma put the game on this air, no resting. Swear these rappers for the law, man, like old westerns. Wait, hold on, wait a fucking minute. Look, okay, I ain't got no seconds for them niggas that's in second place. Got some tea to sip, but ain't no tips on how to elevate. Ran through adversaries like the Oris Aries, and these niggas think it's sweet like the blackest berry. Hopping out the nest, turn Benji Dave, you spend your days binging. You regular as shows, JG inside your penman. Wouldn't take to be the boss, you barely an apprentice. Got a peon for a brain, but act pretentious. Wishing that I fought, nigga stop, that's a waste of breath. I just put the rap game down like in my back arrest. Better than them niggas in your camp, that is not a flex. Yo bitch heard my last mixtape and said I'm too risk. I don't got time for these niggas, they gon' tune in. Wanna say you better, well motherfucker, let's prove it. Tryna shift the culture with these raps, niggas excuse me. You just have my A's at my life, I need a movie. My nigga, I'm gone.